Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Welcome to our channel. I just wanted to go over a really neat little trick that I learned many years ago on replacing fiberglass handles. Anytime you're splitting firewood or even sledgehammers, hammers, anything with or axe, anything with a fiberglass handle. You can buy these kits, and that's what I've got here. It's you got part A and part B. One's a hardener, and it goes with your epoxy. It's a two-part system. You just take a pair of scissors and trim the edge of that off, and then I just squeezed it. I used the top of an old paint can right there to squeeze my epoxy out on, and then I just had a little homemade tool there for my mixer. I mixed it all up, and I put it in a vise, get it as level as I can, and I taped the underneath part of that. You see that duct tape on there? Even though it's got a rubber kind of a gasket there, it will seep out on the bottom. So you tape that all the way around. Okay, and then I put my steel hammer, the head, and the handle on my wood stove right here, just to let it kind of get warm, because epoxy, when it sets up, man, if you get it warm and you're trying to adhese two warm pieces together, boy, you get really good adhesion. If the metal is cold, this part right here is cold, you're not going to get it stuck on there very good, and first time you go to use it, that head may go flying off of there. Anyway, I make a little reservoir up here on top. That's what I've done here, duct tape. So if you don't put that reservoir on there, you can see the air bubbles coming out right there. But as hard as you can, I mean, as hard as you try, I'm going to just dab that a little bit. There we go. You're going to get a little air down in there. And so if you just stand there about 5 minutes, those air bubbles will come out. You can pop them. And that whole handle all the way around on all the circumference of it, you're going to have epoxy down in there. And let me tell you what, when you get epoxy stuck on steel, a heated steel, I had a darn heck of a time trying to get that out of there, the broken one, because I did the same thing. I did a really good job of putting it in there, and I couldn't hardly get it out. I had to drill it. Once I got the fiberglass drilled out, well, then I had to take a chisel and beat to get that epoxy loose from that metal. That tells when you've got a really good job on adhesion. So you can buy these handles at any hardware store. It's a lot cheaper than buying the whole splitting mold. A lot of people they break an axe or the head, they just go buy them another axe. We did get a new one here for chopping ice. We're getting ready to go over to docks, and we're going to be chopping ice. And so I've got a really nice, what they call king cutter wood handle axe. You can shave with it. I'm not chopping ice with that one. That's for my doing things like sprouts and cutting wood and things. This is just a kind of a cheap, I mean, it's got a fiberglass handle on it. I say cheap, nothing's cheap anymore, but that's a whole lot cheaper than that destroying a really good wood handled. You don't want to use wood handled chopping axes on ice, because you'll be swinging at that thing and you'll miss. You might hit a block of ice, and next thing you know, there goes your axe and your handle, and you're right back to square one. That is going to be a tool. So yeah, I had 2 of these, and interns are splitting wood, not this group, but another group, and it's probably been broke for a year, and they hit right here, just as hard as they could swing. When they hit the wood right there, this went snapping off, and you know, you got to hit your block of wood that you're swinging at. If you're not a real good aim, don't be swinging so hard. That would be one thing that would help. I wanted to give a little plug for what the boys worked on yesterday, or day before yesterday. These are our cedar benches, And this one's actually going in the intern house on the back porch. The boys did a really good job. They put double braces on it underneath. We're gonna put polyurethane on that. We've already sanded it. Isn't that pretty? Well, then yesterday, Isaac and Connor are on another project, and so I'll just walk you over here. I got that wood stove going here. It's kind of getting warm. These are the ones that we got the bottom one already built. And there's one, two, three. There's three more there to put together. And I've got to peel the bark off those. That's almost the hardest part. Here's a couple more. I mean, it really is a nice looking, and they're sturdy. I mean, look at that. That's a full 3 inches, folks. You're not gonna break that. It's wide enough you can get 3 people on, and we've got a bunch of these slabs that I cut on the sawmill. This one here is that's a beast. You got to have heart in your cedar, or don't attempt this, because if it's all sapwood, it's not gonna last. You got to have this. You got to have this really good red in here to make a good bench that'll last a long time. But I mean, these things are stout. When you put those 45-degree braces on there on each side, see, you got one over there too. That thing, I mean, you could, if you get him up on there, you could probably stand a small cow up on it. I mean, it's going to hold, 500, 600, 700 pounds easily. Just the construction and how stout it's built. But I'm taking a draw knife. I'm leaving the edges on it, what they call a live edge. And I'm taking a draw knife and taking the bark off. Of course, that one hasn't been debarked yet. Neither has that top one. But we debark them, and we debark the legs. Here's one that's had the edges debarked. And we use the draw knife. I've got 2 draw knives here. It's a great tool, but make sure you use leather gloves with it. Back in the day when I built my log cabin, I was a lot younger then. I was 20 or 19. I ran the draw knife for 2 weeks straight on, I think it was 180 10 to 15 foot logs. And I tell you what, you get pretty good at it. You spend 2 weeks doing it, but it's a lot of work and it's dangerous. You can take off a lot of skin on your knuckles. This thing's looking good though. Anyway, we're going to be getting the rest of these benches all cleaned up, and we're going to put those on our, they'll be at our grazing school. We're going to have people that can actually sit on those and eat on them out in the shade, out in the yard. We're going to make up a gaggle of those. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. It's getting warm outside. I've got a few items that I want to do outside today, and we'll see y'all down the road next time. I was going to tell you those heifers that I posted, there was people jumped on them pretty darn quick. I think we were sold out in about 8 to 12 hours. It was pretty amazing actually how quickly they sold. But it just goes to show you, you can't go to the sale barn and buy those type of heifers. And they're rare as hen's teeth when you find some really good ones. And these were nice ones. But I am going to have another group. It's going to be a much smaller group, and it's a little bit different deal. I'll be talking about that. It's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. So anyway, everyone have a good one, and we'll see you all down the road, and have a great day.